Thousands of Iranians are attempting to flee Tehran following warnings from US President Donald Trump for them to leave the capital as the war enters its fifth day. Panic rippled across the city of 10 million in the early hours of Tuesday, with large traffic queues seen flowing out of the city. Israeli airstrikes have for 5 days pummeled infrastructure and residential sites across the country following an initial large-scale surprise attack on Friday morning, igniting a war between Israel and Iran. Israel has since targeted oil facilities, military bases, Iran's state television broadcaster, as well as a number of military leaders and key figures. These include top IRGC officials, Air Force commanders, security and intelligence chiefs, advisors to the supreme leader, and nuclear scientists. In a speech delivered on Monday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel was changing the face of the Middle East.
אנחנו חיסלנו את הצמרת הביטחונית של איראן, כולל 3 רמטכ"לים, מפקד חיל האוויר שלהם, 2 ראשי אמ"ן, 2. אתמול חיסלנו עוד אחד, גם של הצבא וגם של משמרות המהפכה. אנחנו פגענו בראש אגף המבצעים שלהם. אנחנו מחסלים אותם אחד אחר השני, גם כאן עוד היד נטויה.
More than 224 Iranians have been killed so far, a large number of them women and children. Having mostly destroyed Iran's air defenses on Friday, Israel now says it has full operational freedom in the skies over Tehran. Iran's military has been responding with force since Friday as well, firing hundreds of drones and ballistic missiles at Israeli cities and attempting to exhaust Israel's supply of anti-air interceptors. 24 Israelis have been killed so far, and daily air raid sirens have repeatedly sent residents into underground shelters. Israel has also reportedly shut down its airspace, including international flights, with many Israelis unable to leave the country. One of Israel's key oil refineries in Haifa was shut down following a direct hit from an Iranian missile on Sunday. Meanwhile, Israeli officials have continued to escalate rhetoric. Israel's energy minister, Eli Cohen, says Israel will destroy 100 buildings in Iran for every one felled in Israel, while Defense Minister Israel Katz warned that residents of Tehran will pay the price if Iran continues to attack, saying Iran would be treated like Beirut. Israel Hayom and Channel 14 news outlets close to the Prime Minister Netanyahu have reported that hitting targets in Tehran and ordering evacuations are part of a plan to pressure Iran's government.
Israel has repeatedly called on the United States to enter the war and help them take out Iran's underground nuclear facilities. Israel has already done extensive damage to Iran's nuclear program, with the UN nuclear watchdog believing 14,000 centrifuges at Iran's Natanz site were badly damaged. But it specifically requires US bunker-busting bombs to hit Iran's Fordo site, a uranium enrichment facility which is buried deep underground. Despite helping Israel prepare militarily for its attacks on Iran, the United States has yet to clarify whether it intends to join the war officially. On Monday, the US Navy began moving its aircraft carrier USS Nimitz from the South China Sea to the Middle East. Iran has warned in the past it would respond to US airstrikes with retaliatory attacks on American military bases in the region, a move that would escalate into a wider regional war. European leaders have urged US President Donald Trump to join calls for de-escalation, but he has so far refused to do so. Now, leaders attending the G7 summit, including French President Emmanuel Macron, suggested to the media that Trump was in fact supportive of a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Iran. However, after leaving the summit early, Trump flatly refuted the claim, saying he was looking for a real end to the war.
You just posted right before we took off that you're not leaving because of a ceasefire. Why are you? Can you elaborate?
Ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're looking for better than a ceasefire.
That's what specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
An end, a real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent.
Yeah, or giving up entirely. That's okay too.
Are you close there?
Later on Monday evening, Trump took to social media, posting, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon and warned Iranians to immediately evacuate Tehran.
Now, as Israel and Iran dominated headlines over the weekend, Israel intensified its attacks on Gaza, killing dozens of Palestinians per day in relentless airstrikes. On Tuesday alone, more than 80 Palestinians were killed and wounded, hundreds more, in 2 ambushes on 8 centers by Israeli forces in southern Gaza. Israel has killed more than 300 Palestinians at 8 centers since the launch of a new militarized distribution system in May. Forces have repeatedly fired on thousands of starving Palestinians packed into small, fenced-off areas. UN spokespeople have called these distribution centers a death trap and called for investigations into the attacks.
غنم 16 اشلاء لحم روس كل شيء طالع مش عارف احكي لك استهداف اشخاص عاديين عزل ولا اي حاجه معهم رايحين يجيبوا خبز لاولادهم بس مش اكثر من خبز ولا طحين قتلوهم بدم بارد قتلونا.
Israel has also attacked the last remaining fiber optic route connecting Gaza on Thursday, cutting off all internet and landline telecommunications.